The sky above Earth turned dark one morning, not from clouds, but from shadows far larger than anything humans had ever seen. People across the world stopped what they were doing and stared upward, mouths open, hearts pounding. There, hanging above the atmosphere, were ships, enormous, alien, and impossibly advanced. They blocked sunlight like mountains floating in the air, silent yet commanding. No one knew what they wanted. The media called it the arrival. Governments scrambled. The United Nations convened an emergency session, bringing together the brightest minds in diplomacy, science, and defense. Military leaders called for mobilization, but everyone understood the truth. Humanity had never faced an enemy like this before. The alien fleet, they would later learn, belonged to the Zerathian Galactic Empire, a civilization whose warships could destroy planets with ease, whose fleet spanned entire star systems, and now they were here, in Earth's backyard. At first, the aliens said nothing. They simply hovered, observing. Then, a single message appeared across every screen on the planet. No language was recognized at first. Symbols and sounds filled every channel until Earth's top linguists and AI translators deciphered it. It was a demand: submit or be destroyed. Panic spread. People screamed in the streets. Leaders argued in secure rooms. Some wanted to surrender, thinking resistance was hopeless. Others argued that surrender meant slavery, that Earth would become just another colony, its people nothing more than tools for the Empire's endless hunger. Yet, beneath the fear, humanity held a secret. For decades, hidden projects had quietly advanced in silence. Underground bases, stealth fleets, orbital defenses, and AI simulations. All ready, all unknown to the aliens, all a testament to human ingenuity. The world's leaders had always believed that Earth must be prepared for the day someone came from the stars with bad intentions. Now, that day had come. Scientists worked around the clock, analyzing alien technology. Engineers prepared weapons that humans had barely dared to imagine. Pilots trained in simulators, learning maneuvers that defied conventional physics. And yet, despite all preparation, the weight of the threat was terrifying. Could humans really survive against beings who could destroy planets without effort? Then came the decision. The United Nations issued a single statement to the alien fleet, transmitted directly through space channels that could reach the Empire's flagship. No excuses, no negotiations, no begging. Humanity had one message for the most powerful beings in the galaxy. Stay away from Earth, the aliens responded in silence. At first, it seemed as if they had not even received the warning. The world waited, breaths held, eyes glued to the sky. Then, tiny movements appeared in the fleet. Ships rotated slowly, scanning Earth with strange instruments. The pause was unsettling. Was it anger? Confusion? Or respect? No, one could tell. Even as the world held its breath, humanity's true strength began to show, not in weapons or shields, but in spirit. Ordinary people, from farmers to engineers to teachers, started preparing for what might come. Underground shelters were reinforced, emergency communication networks activated, and cities practiced evacuation drills. Humanity understood one simple truth. If the aliens attacked, survival depended on every human doing their part. Some scientists whispered that the Empire may have never faced a species like humans before, creatures who, despite fear and uncertainty, could unite and act with courage. The warning was simple, almost naive, yet it carried a power the aliens might not yet understand. As night fell across the continents, Earth was silent. The alien ships hung in orbit like dark sentinels, and humanity waited. For the first time in recorded history, the fate of the entire species depended not on fear or diplomacy alone, but on the audacity of a single choice: to stand tall and say, with unwavering resolve, "Stay away from Earth." The aliens paused, as if surprised by the sheer defiance of a world they expected to bow without question. Humanity had spoken. The galaxy had heard, and the first move had been made. The days after humanity's warning passed in tense silence. The alien fleet did not attack, but it did not leave. It hovered beyond the moon, a massive shadow that stretched across Earth's skies. its sensors probing and scanning every inch of the planet. The world held its breath, unsure what the aliens would do next. Humanity quickly realized the fleet was testing them. Small drones appeared in orbit, invisible to the naked eye, but tracked by Earth's defense satellites. The drones moved with precision, scanning cities, military bases, and industrial zones. They were not yet weapons, but observers. Every human knew this was a test. Scientists and engineers worked day and night. They adapted, built, and upgraded defenses in ways the aliens could not predict. Orbital lasers were recalibrated. Electromagnetic pulses were ready to fry drone circuits. AI programs analyzed patterns of alien behavior, searching for weaknesses. Every discovery was shared worldwide, turning fear into determination. Humanity was learning fast. In the skies, pilots flew their stealth fighters in secret missions. They darted in and out of the shadows of the moon and asteroids, studying alien drones. Each sortie brought back new knowledge, feeding the AI systems that predicted alien movements. Ordinary humans were becoming extraordinary. Engineers worked in underground factories, producing weapons faster than anyone imagined. Civilians trained in emergency procedures, ready to protect their cities if the worst came. Then came the first real encounter. An alien envoy, a sleek, silver ship, descended toward the moon. It moved slowly, almost cautiously, sending a beam to scan the hidden human base. The moon base, unknown to the aliens, was more than a research station. It was a fortress. Its walls contained hidden weapons systems, capable of striking ships in orbit with precise accuracy. The humans watching the envoy knew they could destroy it, but they hesitated. A direct attack could provoke the full fleet. Instead, they revealed their presence subtly. The moon base sent a signal that disrupted the envoy's systems, causing its sensors to fail. The alien ship paused, hovered uncertainly, and then retreated. Humanity had made its first controlled demonstration of strength. On Earth, news of the moon encounter spread in hushed whispers. Governments did not fully reveal the truth, but people began to feel a new sense of pride. Humans were not just prey to an unstoppable empire. They were resourceful, smart, and ready. Meanwhile, the aliens were observing everything. Their commanders convened aboard the flagship, discussing humanity in tones that shocked even the most seasoned Earth analysts who managed to intercept communications. They had never seen a species act with such courage and cunning. The humans were unpredictable, adaptable, and most importantly, fearless. Tensions rose further when drones attempted small incursions into Earth's atmosphere. Cities went on high alert. Fighter pilots scrambled into action. Humans used clever traps and decoys, confusing the alien sensors. Drones were disabled, without a single major strike against civilians. Every small victory was a statement. Humanity would not be an easy target. By the end of the second week, the alien fleet had withdrawn slightly, hovering farther from Earth. It was clear they were reconsidering. The human warning, "Stay away from Earth," was not just words. It was backed by planning, courage, and skill. And yet, deep inside every human heart, fear lingered. The empire was massive, far beyond anything they could fully imagine. But for the first time, humans knew that they were not powerless. They had the will, the intelligence, and the unity to survive. On the final night of Part 2, all across the planet, people looked up at the stars. The alien ships glimmered faintly in orbit, silent and watchful. Humanity had endured the first test. They had shown the galaxy that Earth was not weak, and somewhere in the void beyond, the aliens began to understand that this world was unlike any they had faced before.
Humanity had not attacked. They had not begged.
They had simply prepared, observed, and stood firm. And that was enough to send the first real tremor of doubt through the mightiest empire in the galaxy. Earth had survived the test. The war had not yet begun, but humanity had already made its mark. The alien fleet had been watching, waiting, and calculating. Weeks of subtle incursions and probes had proven one thing: humanity was clever, united, and unpredictable. The Zarathian Galactic Empire did not take lightly the audacity of a species willing to stand up against them, and yet impatience grew within their ranks. Then, without warning, the Empire struck. Alien ships appeared in the outer solar system, far larger and more numerous than before. They fired weapons that ripped through asteroids and disabled surveillance satellites in moments. Humanity's early warnings and defenses were put to the test. The first wave targeted Earth's outer colonies, settlements on Mars, the Moon, and the asteroid belt. Panic spread across the solar system, but humans did not cower. Military commanders, scientists, and civilians worked together like never before. Communication networks that had been established for decades of preparation came alive. Every fighter pilot, every orbital laser, every AI system worked in perfect coordination. Human ingenuity shone brightest in the asteroid belt. Mining colonies, which the aliens assumed were primitive and harmless, became hidden battlegrounds. Humans used mining lasers, drilling equipment, and debris to create traps and ambush points. Stealth fighters darted between asteroids, attacking alien drones and retreating before enemy sensors could lock on. Even ordinary miners became heroes, improvising weapons and using the environment to their advantage. Meanwhile, Earth's orbital defense grids activated. Lasers, railguns, and electromagnetic pulses disabled incoming drones and damaged larger ships. The aliens had expected easy victory, but human unpredictability shattered their plans. They were forced to adapt to tactics they could not anticipate. But the humans were not invincible. Some colonies were destroyed, some ships were lost, and lives were sacrificed. Yet every loss hardened humanity's resolve. Survivors learned from every attack, improving defenses in real time. Humans realized that their greatest strength was not weapons alone. It was creativity, courage, and the willingness to fight for every inch of their home. A critical moment came when the flagship of the alien fleet entered the asteroid belt. The humans launched a coordinated strike, combining AI-controlled drones with fighter pilots. They used the environment to their advantage, luring the alien flagship into a trap among massive asteroids. The alien ship, powerful but rigid in tactics, was struck repeatedly by hidden weapons. Explosions tore across its hull, forcing it to retreat in surprise and confusion. The victory sent a shock through the alien commanders. They had never faced a species that could adapt so quickly, that could turn the environment itself into a weapon, and that could fight with intelligence and courage rather than brute force. Humans were proving that they were not prey, nor simple adversaries. They were warriors of their world. On Earth, celebrations were quiet but heartfelt. People had survived the first true assault of the Empire. Humanity had demonstrated that intelligence, bravery, and unity could challenge even the greatest power in the galaxy. Scientists continued to study alien technology salvaged from damaged ships. Pilots trained harder than ever, knowing the Empire would return. And the aliens were watching too. Their fleet had retreated temporarily, but the message was clear. Humans were not to be underestimated. The warning from weeks earlier, "Stay away from Earth," had become reality. Earth had struck back, and the galaxy would remember it. In quiet moments, families and soldiers alike looked at the stars. Fear had not vanished, but pride had grown. Humanity had faced a force beyond imagination and survived. Every mind, every hand, every heart had contributed to the victory. The war with the Galactic Empire was only beginning, but humanity had learned something vital. The galaxy would never see Earth as weak again, and somewhere, deep in the blackness of space, alien commanders recalculated, realizing they were dealing with a species that would not bow, would not beg, and would fight with every ounce of ingenuity and courage it had. Earth had survived. Humanity had struck back, and the next chapter would prove that no empire, no matter how vast, could ignore the will of a determined species defending its home. The alien fleet hung silently at the edge of the solar system, battered and bruised from the humans' clever attacks. Their ships, once symbols of unstoppable power, now bore scars and damage that no one had expected. For the first time, the Zarathian Galactic Empire hesitated. They were not dealing with a primitive species as they had assumed. Humanity was clever, adaptable, and unyielding. On Earth, the mood was tense but proud. Scientists, pilots, soldiers, and ordinary citizens worked together to repair what had been damaged and prepare for what might come next. Messages of unity spread across the planet. Humanity was no longer simply surviving. It was standing tall, demanding respect. The aliens launched another probe into the solar system, testing humanity one final time. But this time, humans were ready. AI-driven interceptors intercepted alien drones mid-flight. Orbital lasers targeted enemy ships with precision, disabling them without civilian casualties. Every human on Earth, from city operators to remote station engineers, acted as a single coordinated force. The Empire sent a council of commanders to assess the situation. They met aboard their flagship, debating whether to continue the attack or retreat. The losses were significant. Entire squadrons had been destroyed in ambushes, their advanced technology outmatched by human ingenuity. Every tactic they tried was countered with unpredictable brilliance. Finally, the decision was made. The aliens would leave the solar system, not because humans had the greatest weapons, not because of numbers, but because Earth's defenders had shown something the Empire could not defeat: unbreakable will and audacity. Humanity's warning, "Stay away from Earth," was not an empty threat. It was real, and it worked. Before leaving, humans sent a final broadcast to the alien fleet, transmitted across space with a clear, unwavering message. "Earth does not ask for mercy. It demands respect. Any who threaten our home will face the full strength of our resolve. Remember this." The message echoed through the galaxy, carried by ships, satellites, and AI signals. It was not just a warning. It was a declaration. Humanity had arrived as a force no empire could ignore. As the alien ships disappeared beyond the Kuiper Belt, Earth's people looked up at the stars with pride and determination. The battle had been hard, and the losses had been real. But the world had survived. Humanity had proven that courage, intelligence, and unity could face even the most terrifying odds. In the weeks that followed, humans repaired colonies, rebuilt cities, and trained for the future. Lessons from the alien encounters were studied in schools, military academies, and research labs. Stories of heroism spread across the globe: pilots who turned the tide in the asteroid belt, engineers who disabled enemy drones, and ordinary citizens who risked their lives to protect others. Humanity celebrated not just survival, but resilience, resourcefulness, and courage. The Galactic Empire had learned a lesson it would never forget. Across the stars, other civilizations took note. Earth was no longer an isolated, primitive planet. It was a world that could outthink, outfight, and outlast even the most advanced empires. Humanity had claimed its place among the stars, not through conquest, but through determination and defiance. And on the surface of Earth, people continued their lives, knowing the galaxy was watching. They had faced annihilation and survived, not because of raw power alone, but because of ingenuity, bravery, and the refusal to surrender. Every human heart carried a new truth: Earth would never bow, and humanity would never stop defending its home. As night fell, the stars sparkled above, each one a reminder of the vast universe and the challenges yet to come. Humanity had spoken to the galaxy, and the galaxy had listened. Earth had won its first war. Humanity had given its warning, and the stars would remember: stay away from Earth, or face the ingenuity and courage of its people. The battle was over, but the story of human resilience had only begun.